Kenny, we've talked about games that you guys have played against some of the better competition in the NBA and how they haven't always gone your way. Do you view this because of that as a statement type of win?
No. I think we played well. I think we were focused. But I wouldn't call it a statement win. They're obviously a really good team. We were at home. But I think we got good feedback on what could work if we play this team in the playoffs. So that's probably the most important thing.
How pleased are you with the way that DeAndre's fit in so far?
And I'm just, he's got some edge to him. The physicality we knew about, but he's got some moxie. Just the way he shoots the ball, right? Like there's no hesitation. Sometimes when you come into a new situation, you're trying to fit in. Like he's just kind of put his hand through the door, like I'm in. He's not trying to fit in, if that makes sense.
Joe?
Before the game, you said that the guys still talk about that playoff series 2 years ago. It was a long time ago.
Yeah, they remember.
What did they say?
I mean, obviously they, when you lose like that in a way, right? I think you guys tell me the rhetoric was, they were more physical and they beat us up physically, right? They're more competitive, all that, and as a competitor, you remember those losses. So, and it's a credit to the Knicks. That's who they are, and so I think our guys have a little chip on their shoulder and hey, how can we get over the hump in terms of competing with this team and beating this team? So it's a healthy thing. It's not like, oh man, we hate this team, and it's like, man, they kicked our tail, and we want to prove that we're better.
I guess along those lines, I mean, it's not the exact same thing, but it almost feels related. Darius had that fall tonight that looked ugly, and you wanted to get him out, and he wanted no part of that.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, he. It's funny. He's like one of those tough NFL running backs. You keep pitching it to him, they keep knocking him down, and they keep hitting him with everyone tries to. They want to use their physicality, so they hit him with the elbow, and he's taking those blows, and he's just a tough dude. He's a tough guy. I thought for sure he was out, and he pops back up and says, I want to stay in. We had to take him out because there was blood or whatever. That was kind of the referee's decision, and then he goes, no, I want to go back right in, go right back in.
Chris?
Kenny, what was your first impression of the DeAndre Evan front court?
Oh man, I mean, you saw we just switched everything and forced them into a lot of isolation, situations. So it's not just a switching. So now we're switching, and we got guys that can guard the ball, and then we got backside length if they do beat us. So that was kind of the idea behind stockpiling wings that can defend. We all know how important that is, and look great. I was pleased. Offensively, I thought it could be a little clunky, right? But I like how it flowed. It looked good.
Leah.
Kenny, you talked pregame a lot about Evan's confidence and that continuing to grow. Before the All-Star break, you had mentioned that he and Jared both are guys that need to be more vocal. As you see that confidence grow, do you also see that part translate as well? Is he being more vocal, communicating more?
Better. We're still a ways away with this defensive communication. I think he knows exactly what he has to do. He knows how to be in the right situation, but his next step, and I think of the Draymond Green, you got to elevate your teammates, and you do that by communicating with them. And it's not natural for him. We got to keep challenging him with that, but it's definitely gotten better.
Mike.
When we talk about Evan, we talked about his improvement as a shooter, a ball handler, but we haven't really talked about his passing, how it's changed from last year. So you got to put him in a short roll a ton. Did you foresee him being this decisive in terms of his passing and reading in that spot when you first got here?
No, one thing Kobe did tell me when I got the job, said, and he's a really good decision maker. Like he makes the right decision. But what I didn't know was, off the balance, right? Like when he's pushing it in transition, how he can make a pass, he can go behind the back and then find someone on the perimeter.
You jumped on him in the first quarter, but Donovan scored 17 in that second quarter. Kind of felt like he delivered the knockout punch tonight. Just what did you see from him in that?
Yeah, we always talk about everybody else, and it's like, man, he was really the guy that like you said, laid the knockout punch. Aggressive. I don't have any stats to back this up, but it seems like Don does not like to have two bad shooting nights in a row. And when he does shoot bad, it's like I'm pretty sure, A, the next night he's going to come out firing, and B, he's probably going to make a lot of them. He's that's a competitor he is, and I felt he had a little more, a little more oomph tonight, a little more juice, and it's part what we talked about before, with having lost to this team in the playoffs and wanting to prove yourself against them. So I think that was part of it too.
Any update on Jarrett?
X-rays are negative, so that's good. I think I do think he's going to get an MRI tomorrow, but he came up to me during the game because it's really bothered me. I'm not going to be able to finish, but good X-rays were negative.
When did the injury happen? Do you know?
I don't know. That's a good question. Not sure. And yet, he did tell me it was I think it was on a dunk. It was rim contact or whatever. I just don't know when it happened.
Gotcha. And obviously with Darius, as you said, he's like a bulldog. He'll run through a wall, run through a lot of different things. Last year, he had the similar injury, as everybody knows, with the fractured jaw. He came back into that game. Is there any level of concern from you guys about him coming after
Wow,
that
I
game?
did not know that, so that's interesting. I mean, listen, I was really in contact with Steve. Like, Steve, what do you think? Like, it's hard for me to evaluate. I got to take the players at his, for his word and trust him. But that's part of it, man. Are you really? And we kept asking, were you? So I went out to midcourt and I'm like, you sure? Like, are you sure about this? And he was 100% in. But I think as I get to know the player better and get to know his personality more, I can, if I really thought he was hurt, I'd just say, you're out, but I didn't feel that. And Steve didn't either.
Thanks.
Nate?
Kenny, getting to know guys, I mean, you talked even before the season, like building relationships was a bigger priority for you than scheme or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
As you're getting guys back, you're acquiring guys, how important is that coach-player relationship when you're dealing with different minutes?
It's a really good point and a good reminder for me, because sometimes when guys are injured, you lose connection with them. They're in the training room all the time. They're not in your kind of wheelhouse. They're not in your presence all the time. So they're not in a rotation. You're not talking to them at timeout. All of a sudden, they're thrust back in. And even tonight, I felt like, man, Isaac and Dean, you lose that connection. So it's a good reminder. Like, you always have to, even the injured guys, you got to keep talking to them and keep connecting with them. Definitely an area where I can do better. Like I said tonight, I felt like, man, little distance there. I mean, they probably don't care, right? They're out there hooping, but from my perspective, it's something I can improve on.
And what's your kind of approach when guys' minutes are changing? Like, do you have a transparent talk with them? How do you deal with it?
Yes, brutally honest. Like, there is a hierarchy. We kind of know who the top guy. There's probably 4 guys that are guaranteed you're getting these minutes. After that, if you're, you might be playing well and I got to take you out because there's another guy there, or you're not playing well. There's another guy behind you that can do it just as well. So I think this team gets it. I mean, I really do. A lot of them, I'm thinking Max and Sam and Isaac. These are guys that that have had to go through the struggles their whole career, right? And even from college to making it and all that. So we got a group. Dean Wade, another one, right? Was he undrafted, I think, right? So it's not like we have kind of lottery picks in those positions. So there's a humility to their who they are and do they love it? Sometimes you get a side eye, when they come out of the game. It's just that's part of my job to keep talking to them.
Spence.
So DeAndre's hit 11 threes since he's gotten here.
Really?
Yeah, and 4 of them, I think the last 4 he's taken have been all of the self-creation variety. And did you know that he had that in his game?
No.
No. How does that just even help you even further on the offensive
Even
end?
last night, he had 2 when we were struggling a little bit. He had 2 off the dribble.
Yeah.
And he's so compact, like his fundamentals are really good. So that's a little bit of a surprise. And listen, sometimes with us, it's a little more, we're principle-based and more in the flow, as opposed to, hey, DeAndre, we're running this particular pin down. So he's going to have to figure out a little bit how to play that type of basketball. But he's kind of finding it. Hey, I got to take my shot here, and I got to be aggressive with it. But we got to find him ways to get easier touches. We ran that one ATO where he got it. He made that flex cut and got the easy one. So use his size a little more in the paint. But yes, short answer is yes. Surprised with the self-creation.
And defensively, I think last night he had some possessions against Dayron. He switched on to Cat tonight a couple times, and you're able to have that when he's also able to guard the guards too. Just that has to be such a luxury to have.
So we put him on Cat tonight a lot, and then we had him on. Then we could switch to Brunson pick and roll. So guard Cat, he might post you up. I think Cat scored on him twice, but he also held him up a few times, kept him off the boards, and then he could switch on to Brunson and guard that. So, gives you another Dean Wade type defender. It's huge for us.
Okay, let's go wrap, Coach.
All right, thanks everybody.